Hey, how's it guys? I'm the Bomb here from Young's Performance Craft, and you can almost say Bro Aussie Surfer is finishing up this Bro bodyboarder for Mark from Mark's Boatworks in Australia. Looking forward to getting this off to him. I think it almost looks a little bit like Mark, eh? Yes, lekker colours. Anyway, back to what we're on about today. So guys, yesterday I shared a test where I moved the LiPo battery into the cockpit of this boat. I can almost say up to yesterday I've been focusing more on the leg, obsessing myself with the Enigma leg, its design, and putting it through its paces. But now this month I'm going to be starting to take a few notes on the actual hull, because as I've said numerous times now, this hull was originally built for a nitro setup, and I've just been using it to test the Enigma leg, but at the same time now I'm going to be using it to figure out a few pointers on design for the FE hull that I'm going to be building for this setup. And one of the things I found originally, I was running the LiPo in this area over here and only achieving just short of 30% CG, which wasn't enough, and I was having to run the motor at a relatively like 2-degree negative angle, which helped, but it wasn't ideal. Yesterday I moved the LiPo forward and it ran beautifully, and what I had to do that was move the ESC forward so that it could reach the LiPo power leads. Now a lot of people, I think in ignorance, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, just think, well, if the lead doesn't reach, I'll run a longer lead. But let me just please advise you and encourage you, if ever you need to have the ESC close to the LiPo, don't extend the LiPo leads, rather just extend your 3-phase output ESC output power leads. Because when you lengthen the power leads from the LiPo, that's where you start getting what they call a drop in current, and that's what puts a lot of strain on your ESC as well as your LiPo. And you see a lot of people will run numerous capacitors, they call them cap packs, okay, to try and make up for that shortfall. But you know, if you keep your leads short, I mean, in actual fact, I wouldn't mind these to be a bit shorter, and over time I'll probably end up with my own setups running them as short as possible. But the shortest gap you can have between your LiPo and your ESC is ideal. Alright, so anyway, I haven't run this setup yet. I'll just share in the top. I'll show you how much longer. I literally doubled the length of these 3-phase ESC output power leads to the motor. And I've also, what's nice is this little ESC, the Sea King 120, was actually stationed over here just short of the transom. I've now moved it up just short of the CG, so I've also moved, I suppose, the CG more forward, even more forward, by moving the ESC forward. So yeah, you'll just see when the boat runs what's I suppose impressive, but important to note on a boat is whether you're running into the wind or whether you're running with the wind, you almost want the same trim, and then you've got a well balanced boat. If a boat's not well balanced, normally you can set it up so it can run into the wind by having a negative trim, but then what you'll find is when you turn and you run with the wind, you're going to have a bit of obvious or detectable porpoise, and that's obviously not ideal either way, because it's running into the wind. You've got your motor trimmed down, so your thrust line's actually pushing up towards the sky, lifting the transom, pushing the nose down and sapping some unnecessary power that could be going forward parallel to the water, and then coming back. You've got the opposite, where you've got the boat being pushed down and then lifted up, pushed down, lifted up, pushed down, lifted up, and you're also just wasting power. So it's all about efficiency. So anyway, enough talking now. Let's take this for a quick little run just to check the system, and then I've got to get this little bro finished, wrapped and packed and sent off to Oz. I know Mark is looking forward to a bit of bro fun in the surf in Oz, eh? Lekker. Right, we've still got a nice little breeze on the water here. It's not going to be a long run. I'm really just running the balance of the LiPo from yesterday's test, so it's going to be short and sweet. Smooth. Oh boy, that was short and sweet, huh? Didn't realize how much I'd run the LiPo yesterday. Anyway, I'm happy with that. Okay, we're back in action. While I was having the LiPo charged, I finished up Mark from Mark's Boatworks Probro RC bodyboarder. That's now ready to be shipped tomorrow morning. We'll get it safely tucked into a box and shipped off to him. And as usual, I have Big B from Ironclad here. He's my online workshop buddy. I just love it, him playing in the background and sharing his wealth of wisdom with regards to various builds. I can't believe the energy he has to do the builds that he does, but passion drives one to do the most amazing things, eh? So talking about passion, let's go get this FE F1 on the water. You're getting it up there. Okay, so looks like I've had another one of the power leads fail. We'll just have to have a closer look at that. So you can clearly see even before I open up, I've done a pretty poor job at joining the three-phase power wires. And yeah, the solder joints have actually come apart. I'm going to have to open those wires up and flesh them out and sort of fan them in together for them to bond better. Live and learn, eh? That's what the process is all about. So as I say in the classics, if hindsight was a science, we'd all be geniuses. Anyway, what I've done now with this joint is I've just cut off some brass tubing and drilled 2 holes in each brass tube, and I put either end of the wire tinned inside and soldered it all together. And I'm going to heat shrink it, and yeah, hopefully that holds the joint. You can actually see on these wires here, it says something like, looks like 200 degrees Celsius. This is obviously a special wire to be able to handle the load of power that's drawn through them, eh? But I'm hoping that does the trick. So hopefully now with that cable joint encased in those brass tubes and soldered, they'll stay together, but only time will tell.